So, I mean, even with that being said, switching over, looking quickly at the Black Mafia album. Black Mafia, the second album released by Steady Mobb'n. It was released on November 24th, 1998. Produced predominantly by Beats by the Pound and also featuring production by up-and-coming Meech Wells, who people will be more familiar with Meech Wells and stuff right now. And according to Billy Bavgate in an old interview, they said that the record was completed in only 1 week. And the single, which we spoke about, was Ghetto Life. And it didn't actually do probably as well as they thought it would have. They say the single was a minor hit, but the album failed to match the success of their 1997 release. And it peaked at 82 on the Billboard 200 and only 19 on the top R&B hip hop album.
There's one thing I want. Sorry to cut you off. Oh, go ahead, man. Then I'll say it right after you.
Okay, I was just going to say that they soon departed No Limit not long after this album, but we do know there was a few other incidents that may have happened. I think Crooked Eye getting caught with some weed and stuff, and a few things happened. He caught a bit of a case, and I believe he ended up having to sell his house and all this stuff. So there was a lot of stuff that went on at that time.
And also speaking on that single, because there's like one gripe that I have with Master P was that a lot of the artists, like if you weren't Snoop or Mystical or Silk, you got like one video, and then your single didn't get pushed that hard. Like if you were like Silk or Snoop or Mystical. So I always felt like, what song was I thinking of? Like Max, Slow Your Roll. Everybody likes that song. I always felt that could have been a bigger classic. That could have had a video, and you know what I'm saying? Like I always felt that Master P didn't push some of the artists' singles as hard as he pushed for like those main artists. So there could be more classics that No Limit could have had, but I feel like they kind of lost in that.
Yeah, no, understandable. I believe some of the artists did feel that way, and some have echoed similar sentiment over the years in saying they probably would have picked a different single or would have went a different route with their single. Now, we don't know if that completely falls on P or if he had an advisory board or team or others. We do know that he was ultimately the head honcho and would have made any final decisions, especially when it came to like singles and stuff like that and how they're going to be pushed and released. We know everybody had different budgets. So as you said, that was, I think, an issue with realizing that some of them had different budgets. I mean, me growing up in the UK, some videos I didn't see till many years later on the internet. And as you said, those were for some of the other artists that weren't as premium as a P or as a C or as a Silk or as a Snoop or as a Mystical. You know, some of those guys' videos was more out there at the forefront. Now, I guess some people may argue and say the artists weren't moving enough units and stuff themselves or able to garner or generate that kind of interest. We did just say that this second album, Black Mafia, didn't reach the same sort of reach that the first one did. The single Ghetto Life was still a strong single, and I believe, you know, even having that Marvin Gaye sample and stuff, it could have been a lot more popular if it was probably pushed or promoted better. So, you know,
so
also on
the artists had like, they had big songs that could be big. Like Fiends had Big Timer, and like Mac, like Slow Your Roll. Like people had like big songs that like if they were pushed, they could be like songs that like hip hop heads would like. Because when you think of No Limit, you just think of like the average person is make them say and hootie hoo, but they don't like know like the real classics of No Limit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no doubt. I'd agree with that. And I mean, this album itself, it definitely had some classics. One of the songs that we had spoke about quite a bit on this channel is Lil Niggas featuring Master P and the Lil Soldiers. You know, we recently spoke to Frequan from the Lil Soldiers, where he spoke a little bit about just some of that song and the energy behind it and how important it was as well. So, you know, we had a lot of dope tracks on this album. It started out hot. Ghetto Life was a nice deep track. Then he got into Back That Mess featuring Fiend, Big Ed, and Mac.
Soldier song, I think, kinda.
Yeah, it had that definitely. I don't know if it was KLC on the beat, but it definitely was hitting and was rowdy as a mofo. You know, When Them Killers Call featuring C, another dope classic. You know, C Murder was quite heavily featured on this album and stuff as well. He also featured on Papa Didn't Raise No Punks, which is another straight, you know, strong hip hop, Southern/West Coast classic.
And Still Hustling is definitely a mob, like E40, Richie. It definitely had that feel to it. I don't know who produced that one, but that one sounds like straight Bay Area right there.
Yeah, that's a fact. And I think, you know, they were known to really mix it up like that. And just as we mentioned with their first album, just bringing in a bit of different production and sound, more indicative of the West Coast and the Bay Area and stuff. One thing I was going to say, you know, kind of fast forwarding a bit onto the album, there was a track called Stick Up featuring Freedom, Unique, which was definitely a hot track, bringing the whole West Coast, East Coast vibe going on. You know, Freedom would go on to be repackaged as Short Circuit, and obviously was the father of the Little Soldiers. So this was done at a point where he was out and stuff, and he was around.
Okay, that's dope. And that's Short Circuit Freedom, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's free, you know. So the album it featured, you know, for this time of No Limit 98, it pretty much featured a who's who of the tank. Mr. Servan featured Miss Peaches, O'Dell handling a lot of the vocals and stuff. Shout out to Miss Peaches. She probably featured on almost every No Limit album at one point or period of time.
Yeah, she was dope.
Snoop Dogg was featured. Gambino Family on Family Ties. So
that's a hidden. My bad, man. That's a hidden gem right there. That Family Ties.
Yeah. But that's the thing with this album. It's like it's got so much more gems. I feel, you know, even Plead My Case with Magic and Craig B's a nice track. I feel like this one had more input from the rest of the tank as opposed to Premeditated Drama, which didn't necessarily have that much tank input, where this one had a lot more of the soldiers come on and do their part and add into the mix and add into the flavor. And I think that made it extra dope.
Yeah, it really did. And the MG theme was from the Mean Green. Like that right there, that kind of led me into getting this album because I like that song so much. I like the Mean Green compilation so much. I was like, I gotta get that Steady Mobb'n. So
yeah,
I had to get it.
That was a dope thing they did at that. You know, back in those days, they did that on the first album. They had a commercial from Mr. Servan, and this one they had the Mean Green. But I remember like just even No Limit using those commercials and skits as opportunities to advertise other projects and stuff as well, which was always pretty dope and made you want to check out their projects or their albums and stuff too. As you said, even the MG theme with Mean Green, I'm sure that helped sell a lot more units on Mean Greens. Was it Major Players album?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Major Players, that was real dope.
Yeah, it was a solid little compilation. So, you know, ultimately, this album itself, as we said, it would still go down within a classic, within the No Limit pantheon, but in the wider hip hop pantheon, it may be sort of slept on. It was given maybe, let me see if I can find it. Source rating. I can't find the source rating, but All Music rated it 4 out of 5. I mean, myself, I'd probably rate it a 3.5 as the same as I did with Premeditated Drama. I mean, what about yourself? What would you rank this album? I know you said you
I'm gonna be honest, man. I give this a 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely give it a 5. I felt it had like because you have songs like Heaven and Hell and Carrie. You have some deep songs on here, and then Ghetto Life. Then you had traditional No Limit songs, and then you had some like a few little songs sprinkled here and there, but like a lot of them are gems. Like Family Ties, I think, was a dope with the Gambinos.
Mm-hmm.
The one with Freedom was real dope. I think the ones with Snoop, I really didn't like. I didn't like Green and Remy. I didn't like it at all. Still Hustling was good. Like the Niggas Like Me is pretty good. Like I may have more more of an emotional connection to it, which made me give it a 5 because it's one of my favorites from No Limit. But I think it was pretty balanced though. I think, like you said, it's really slept on.
Yeah, it slept on, and as you said, this really feature everybody a lot more than the last album did.
Yeah.
You know, from top to bottom, I believe every track on the album has a feature.
Yeah, I think so too. I think every track does.
Yeah, so you know, from top to bottom, everything got a little feature. I guess adding to the uniqueness of this time with just everybody being around, all these groups, all this talent, Prime Suspects, the Gambino family. You know, there was so much.
Yeah, you're right. Everybody was there. I swore this came out in '99, but I guess it did come out in '98, probably late '98.
Yeah,
but
well,
I think,
they say
yeah, like you.
it was released November 24th, 98. So
Oh yeah,
late
so like late
98.
'90. Okay.
And it was
I think I got
recorded,
it in '99.
and they recorded it during 1998 and stuff too. So I think by the time it probably would have got bubbling and round and around, as you said, it would have been like 99.
Oh, got you. Okay.
And I mean, to be honest, 99 was still a strong year for the Tank.
I think so too.
Yeah, it was
and it's kind of crazy because I would see this one in like I would see it in the booklets, but then I don't know if they changed the date or something, because it felt like it was there sooner, but then it felt like it was gone and then it came. I don't know. It just, because you see everything in the booklets. You would see Tank Dogs and then it wouldn't be there no more, and stuff would come and go. So it was kind of weird how they were placing the album, but it ended up coming out.
Yeah, no doubt. When it came out, you know, they left a mark. They definitely threw down and was able to represent for the West Coast, represent for the hood, represent for the world. Once again, we definitely want to say we hope that Crooked has found some resolution and is in a bit more of a better situation than he was at the end of 2019. Billy Bavgate will change his name to Bavgate and go on to feature on Fizz Nation projects and a bunch of other West Coast classics with Mac Dre and other people and stuff like that. So, you know, he's definitely continued the music hitting hard going forward. I mean, what do you guys think out there? We want to definitely hear more from the fans. Like, did you guys check out this album? Were you a fan of it? What features did you like? Who would you have wanted to hear on it that was missing? Don't forget to let us know those kind of thoughts and stuff in the comments. We're going to be back ranking some new Tank albums and stuff once again soon. New flavors, anything you want to drop?
Nah, if you haven't heard this album, just like he's saying, man, go listen to it. It's a hidden gem. If you haven't heard this one on No Limit, I think it'll fill the gap for, like, it may actually be like some of the last material where you'll have everybody, all the, like, the real No Limit artists on it. And yeah, they Steady Mobb'n as a group is a hidden gem as well. So real dope.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. And you know, we want to say in terms of the next few projects and stuff we've got coming up, we got Fiend, we got Mac, and we got a bunch of other Tank Dogs. So let us know what you want to hear first, and maybe we'll drop that one first.